BackCreekDaddy Productions, and this is our June segment of interviews. And as you can see, we have 4 ladies here who are we going to interview here tonight about their parts in our films and whatever else they want to talk about. So with that, we're going to get this one underway. Girls, let's start off with Tammy.
Yes.
How about, before we start any questions, you girls introduce yourselves.
I'm Tammy Roush.
I'm Roxy Brooks.
Jessica Sutton.
Lindsay Davis.
And you've all played in the BackCreekDaddy Production films.
Yes.
And we're going to start the first question off with Tammy.
Okay.
Well, Tammy, your first acting with BackCreekDaddy was in The Pawn. What were your feelings about coming out acting with our regulars?
Well, I've seen all the Drac Black Saga movies and thought it looked like a lot of fun. But when I saw the 5th movie and it just kept getting better and better and better, and then the 5th movie, when I saw the laugh track, the blooper reel at the end, I was like, oh man, I got to be a part of this. I got to get in here and I gotta have some fun too. And it was just as fun as I would imagine it was going to be, and I enjoyed it very much.
Well, we're going to show a still picture of Tammy from The Pawn. Take a look. Okay, now that we've seen that, can you tell us a little about this character and how you prepared for it? The tracker?
Well, I just pictured her to be very quiet, pretty stealthy, mysterious, and while I was preparing for the role, I was just kind of thinking of a Lara Croft kind of vibe and just kind of went with that.
But your character basically was a killer.
She was an assassin. She was a hired to kill assassin, yes.
Yep. Okay, Roxy, let's go with you here. Before we start off, we're going to show a picture of Roxy as one of her characters. Let's take a look at this. So, Roxy, I believe, you know, the makeup on this, everything was awesome, the clothing. I believe it was your first appearance in one of our films, is that right?
Yes, that was the first movie I was in, and I was so excited to be in one of the movies, and I was really honored, and I didn't know what to think, and I was just like, oh, I hope I can do this right. I hope this is good enough, and I had some costumes that I had already made from other times where I needed something, and so it was really nice to be able to be a part of.
And we were glad to have you. So did you ever think that you would continue being in any films, or did you think that was just like a one-time shot?
Well, at the time, I was thinking that, yeah, that was going to be the only time I was going to get to be able to do this. I was really, like, giving it 110%, and I was, like I said, I was really hoping it was going to be, like, good and scary and convincing where it was like a monster. But it was also nice that time because I also got to be somebody sweet in the beginning, so that was really nice because I was a soft-spoken girl to become this monster, and I really liked that aspect of the whole thing. I was really excited.
And like we said, it was an awesome look, an awesome costume. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Lindsay, you had a cameo in The Pawn, but in our current film, you have a much bigger role. Were you expecting that?
Not at first. I thought it was cool to be in the film.
So, well, what did you like about playing that character?
Well, it was when I first saw the other films, I thought this would be cool. And then when I was nervous at first, but after I started to get into it, I thought it would be cool to have a bigger role. And I was excited to find out that I was going to have a bigger role in the next film.
So, would you be in future films with BackCreekDaddy if asked?
Definitely.
That's great. And some of our characters get a little roughed up in our films, as you've noticed. Did that kind of bother you or worry you that you might get roughed up a little bit?
No. thought you like having me in scenes where I'm rolling around in the dirt.
Yeah, we always need to roll somebody around in the dirt.
Well, I'm a good candidate against it.
We gotta be
Jesse.
our own stuntman here.
Yeah, and since you're the newbie, we're gonna let you get the dirtiest.
That's me.
That's me.
Jesse. You've been in all the films,
Yep.
playing mostly two characters, Phillips and Jessie Lynn. Can you tell us a little about the Jessie Lynn character?
Well, she is from the parallel world. She has no twinner. It's only her. She travels between the worlds. She has some magical abilities. In the parallel world, she is a novelist of occult books. And then in this world, she plays a reporter.
And she has the ability to travel back and forth.
Yes, yes. She has magical abilities.
As
And
we
she
call,
is a good guy. She is one of the good people.
as we call in the movies, the portals.
Yes.
One of my favorite scenes of Jessie Lynn is from Evil Awakening, is where she's at Charlie's grave. How did you prepare for that scene?
Well, I just went in the room by myself and closed the door and I tried to think of sad stuff. I don't even remember what I thought of. I wanted to actually cry, but I couldn't get tears to flow. But I thought I did okay with the emotion in my voice and
I
stuff.
thought it was very good. And who is Professor Phillips? Can you tell us anything about this character, or are you allowed to tell us anything about this character?
Well, he's a bit of a mystery also. In the poem, we finally found out his first name is Alberic.
Alberic.
Yes.
I didn't know he had a first name.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is there
the mystery woman in the poem called him
Oh.
when she had him.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
right.
I didn't
That's
know.
right.
And that's
Well,
how I
we'll
was
we'll hear it again in the new movie.
I'm so
His
glad.
name.
Is there a definition for that? What does that word mean?
We looked it up and it was something about the king of elves or something along those lines.
Isn't that interesting?
And Professor's mysterious and stuff, so we thought it fit. He's been with Drac Black for a long time. When Drac Black's mother was ill, Drac's father called upon Professor Phillips because Professor was a friend of Drac's grandfather. And Professor Phillips, his looks have not changed any. He still appears to be the same age to Drac. He is the one that created Drac, turned him into a vampire.
But for those who have seen the pawn, he went through facial reconstruction,
Yes,
so
yes.
he will look different
Yes,
now.
the mystery woman paid to have his face changed. And in Retribution, hopefully we find out why, but you have to wait for that movie.
And there you have some information about the professor. So Tammy, back to you. Just like Lindsay, you have a bigger part in our current film Retribution. What's that like, getting a bigger role? How do you feel about that? Just a little bit bigger?
Feel pretty good about it, actually. I thought it was gonna be a one-time gig for me too, and it was just gonna be fun, and I just got to kick ass, and then I'd go home and call it a day, but get to come back again and play a similar character, but a bigger part, more scenes, more lines. I do have to say though, with the more lines, I really admire actors, because I don't know how people do that, remember all these lines. Because for the tracker, she had 5 lines, and I got on set and I just blanked out. And I couldn't remember anything. I was so nervous. But then this time, I don't know, it just kind of, it wasn't as hard, and just, it was fun. And but I really do admire actors, I must say, because especially people who do soap operas, because they have to learn a bazillion lines every day and remember them and act at the same time. I don't know how they do that. I really have a new admiration for them, because I don't know how they could possibly do that.
That's a really good answer.
Well, luckily we have a good director that'll just let us ad-lib and
Yes.
just go with the flow.
Go with the flow, if it just goes
Because
with
I don't memorize all my lines either.
I like that.
Well,
We're allowed
you're
input.
good. I would never even know that.
We're allowed input, so that's nice.
That's great. Yeah, I would never.
Yes, we are a little flexible with that,
I usually
the ad
look over it
libbing.
like 10 times before the actual scene.
We
I'm
act-
like reading it as we're filming it before I'm getting ready to like say something. It's like,
Yeah.
I didn't
Oh.
hope nobody noticed that paper on the table.
Oh no, there was one scene that I had a paper in front of me, the lines.
and you know what we usually say, bring your bread to the table, if it's not moldy, we'll use it.
I think the scene where you were a reporter interviewing Professor Phillips,
Yeah, we were both cheating.
I think
I had a paper
yeah.
and you.
I think we did have the script on the table, because he was in his office.
Mhm.
I remember
He had
that
his
scene.
files open and stuff, and it was like pictures and newspapers and things, and yeah, and then the.
I remember that
was
scene.
there.
That was good.
That was awesome. Victoria Strange had that really high voice.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That was a good movie.
My first
I like
big
that one.
line part, I had the thing in front of me, had the camera, and it didn't look like I was like looking at it, reading it, but it was there. I was reading.
A big old cue card.
Did you? Awesome. I wanted that a couple of times, but I was like, no, I can't do that. Just get to say it.
So, Roxy, anyone who has seen our films, they know you've been a victim, you've been a vampire, you've been a ghost, you've been cursed with a wolf spell, you've been the right-hand
Roxy.
man of a notorious criminal, and finally, in this upcoming film Retribution, you get to play a good guy. How does that feel?
Wow, exciting and different. I don't know if I can play a good guy because I've always been like something evil or something bad or something secretive or
Crazy.
something crazy. And so to be a good guy, it is a nice refreshing change, and I'm also trying to figure out like how, you know, to be a good guy on one side and be a good guy on the other side, but still be out for number one. And that's gonna be fun.
Even though she's cast as a good guy, there'll still be a lurk of evilness, I believe.
Oh no, no
Always.
way.
So how do you feel about all the different characters you've played? I mean, do you have a favorite, or do you have a favorite character?
Well, all the scripts are good, and I think that once all the scripts get put into book form and everyone could read them and understand like where the story's coming from, that I think it'll be a little bit more cohesive for the public, and I'm really glad for that, and I think that they'll be thrilled once that actually comes to light. And there's so many great characters and everything's so intertwined, it'd be really hard for me to say which one would be like my favorite, because they're all really so fun and so well thought out. But I think my favorite would have to be Carla Jennings.
That was my favorite.
From the
one.
pond.
From the pond.
Crazy Carla.
Carla Jennings.
Crazy Carla.
There you go, that's good.
And the reason why I love her so much is because the day that we had to shoot her, the very following evening, I had almost ruined my right leg and got up that morning to film, and just got up and like nothing was absolutely wrong with me, and got out there and did the job and came home. And my leg was swollen like a puff sausage.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And when I unzipped those knee-high boots, my whole leg just spilled out of my costume, and I was like, oh my God. And it actually didn't start hurting me till the very next day, and I was like, wow. And my doctor said, you know, you almost tore every ligament in your foot and almost
Wow.
came about this close to breaking your leg. And I was like,
wow.
and I went out and I was running around in the forest the next day after, and I was like, man, I must
Wow.
have been like determined.
Like me with my foot.
So I think that's why I like her so much, because I was like, yes, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I had no idea you're.
we didn't know that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want anybody to like treat me any different or like say, oh Roxy, you should be sitting down. It's like, no, I'm here to do my thing, and I'm ready.
That was cool. And
Yeah.
Tammy herself just was healing up from foot surgery, weren't you?
Yes, it was. And when I was not on camera in the pond, I was limping.
Oh.
So I got a question for all of you. What do your friends think of your involvement in our films?
Most of them think it's cool. Lindsay, she's in the films now. She liked them enough to agree to be in them. I have some other friends that have now been in them.
Yeah, it's kind of drafting themselves, which is cool because everybody needs to like be a part of it.
Just recently I had one ask, why haven't I been asked to be in the film?
Oh,
And I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were interested. I'll let the director know.
that's so
Well, the
great.
Pawn had our largest cast yet. It was like 20 different people,
Yep.
which was a lot more than our very first film, which was what, half a dozen.
And people playing multiple characters.
That was my favorite part about it. I think, yeah, I love that.
There's still a lot of that
Switching
going
the
on.
mask around.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, but with the thing with the faceless ones, we can all play the faceless one.
Yeah, that's so cool. I like that part about it.
So,
Well, I have a friend that's a big fan. I let him watch Evil Awakening and The Pawn, and he can't wait for the next movie.
Didn't he watch Evil Awakening a couple of times though?
He's watched them both a couple of times.
That's so
that's the kind of fans we want.
Yeah, definitely. He needs another copy of another movie so he can get like to catch on.
So Jess, I want to go back a minute, and we said you played Professor Phillips and Jesse Lynn, but actually you have played quite a few other characters
Yep.
in the total 5 films. Like this one, we're going to show this little clip. Take a look.
I told you not to hurry! Shut up for a minute! Give me all the information on the portal now! I don't know what you're talking about! Get it for me now! I don't know what you're talking about! Don't hurt my granddaughter! Give me the information on the portal now! Now!
Now that we're back from that, what can you tell us about that? Pigtails and all.
Well, that was for the very first movie I was playing. She was supposed to be like 10 or 12 maybe. I think I was like 16 or 15 in that film.
That film was filmed in 2002.
Yeah. It was a long time ago.
10 years.
I mean,
I can't believe it's 10 years ago already. That is so crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome though, isn't it?
so I just threw my hair up in some pigtails and put some big troll earrings in. Just tried to look.
Well, that was a good job. That was a good job.
Oh, I thought you were adorable. She was so cute. She was.
So, this is to all of you. So what do you girls think of the faceless ones?
Creepy.
Yeah. Mysterious.
I'm scared of them.
I don't like them. Even when I have a gun, I run.
It doesn't seem like they're very loyal because in the parallel world, they all work for Arminius, which
Seem to
is.
have their own agenda.
But at the beginning, they were on the good side.
But now some of them's working with Hyde and stuff.
They just out on their own now, and half of them, you know.
Because in the Pawn, Jesse Lynn asks the one, "What are you doing here?"
And his response was, for the power and the money.
That's it, yeah.
That's probably what they're all here for.
Yeah.
But so far, we don't even know if the faceless ones are even human because they're faceless ones.
It's never been revealed
Yep.
what they actually are.
They're creepy.
They are.
So how many of you have actually played as a faceless one?
I have
I've
several times.
done, I think in The Pawn I did several scenes with the faceless one.
And
I've never been a faceless one.
Nor have
I
I.
never got to do that before.
No.
No,
Not yet.
no, hopefully I will get to be a faceless
Well,
one.
we'll
in
have
the
to get
future.
you in next time.
Yeah.
I have to don the hood next. And like,
Everybody needs to take their turn.
be
Uh,
and sticker out there shooting people.
you know, they're like the original Star Trek characters who, what color shirt was he, if the guy was wearing a certain color shirt, you always knew he wasn't going to make it through the episode. I can't remember the color, but it was always, you know, so with our faceless ones, you always know there's a possibility they're going to die.
Yeah. They're expendable.
Yeah.
There you go.
But they keep coming back.
Because
Well,
they
there's
want
just
the
so
power
many.
and the money.
And there's so many of them.
There's so many of them.
Some of them even wear shorts,
Yeah.
as we saw in the
Yeah.
I missed that.
You don't know what
Yeah,
they're going to be wearing.
Justin had shorts on.
Cool.
They did.
Nice.
tennis shoes.
And I think our one actor had shorts on also in the pond.
I missed that.
When the hitman came in
Frank's brother.
to kill.
Oh,
I
is
can't
Frank?
remember his name.
Frank's brother
His brother.
played the faceless woman.
Nice.
And I think he had shorts on.
I liked Frank. He was good in that.
So Tammy,
Everybody's good at it now.
He played
another question for you.
Yeah.
In the pond, you were speared, and it was a great job. But I was a little bit worried because we had to have you fall down, and I was afraid maybe you would, if you didn't fall right, you know, we could have had a little problem there, but you did it just right. Were you worried about that?
Well, I had just undergone foot surgery, and so it was still, I mean, I was cleared from the doctor, but I still was in a lot of pain, and...
But you had that stick strapped to the front of you and the back, and that's, my concern was when you fell, that if you fell the wrong way, we might have actually
Really?
had a real scene. But you did great. Was you concerned about that, or?
No, not really. I just kind of eyeballed my spot where I was going to fall before I fell, make sure I didn't fall on Richard's hard shoes because he was wearing some hard shoes, and I had just shot him in the back, and I didn't want to wind up with his shoes in my side or my ribs or something, so I just kind of eyeballed the spot before I fell, and I just crouched down a little bit and just fell over, so I wouldn't skewer myself for real. Made sure I fall on my shoulder, so I wouldn't A, hurt my foot, and B, skewer myself for real.
But you did a great job.
There you go.
All of you have done a great job, and this has already been printed on the page. There are ideas out there right now. We're getting ready to write script 7. And how many of you are looking forward to script 7? Because I have an idea you'll all be offered a
Of
part.
course.
Can't wait for the next one. It's great. It's a lot of fun.
So hopefully we'll get this one knocked out this summer, and we'll go for number 7 next year.
Yeah.
But just so you girls know, it is in the works.
Yep.
It's in the planning stage.
Great. I'm excited.
Hopefully it'll go a lot faster than script 6, which we started filming actually before it was even completed. But it worked out.
Whatever works. As long as you're making art, it doesn't matter.
Well, we want to thank these girls. Again, I want them to introduce themselves, say goodbye to the crowd.
Goodbye. It's Tammy.
Roxy.
Jessica.
Lindsay.
This is our June episode of Back Creek Daddy Presents Interviews. I'm not sure what next month will be, but keep an eye out, and this one will be up shortly.
Bye.
Damnation and darkness have been the sum of my days. I was born with no trial, born with no face. If I stand under nothing, stand before your throne. If I don't.
We're the girls from BackCreekDaddy Productions, and we support local talent, and so should you.